She thought she met a lonely boy, but who was he? Was he a human or something else? Before starting the video, if you like the video, press the like button and subscribe the channel. Let's start the video. Victoria lived in Sydney, working long hours at a call center. One night, after finishing her shift late, she decided to take a shortcut home to save time. The streets were quiet and the night felt heavy. It was around 2 a.m. when she passed by an old house on the corner of a deserted street. The lights inside were on, both front doors were wide open, and in the window she saw a boy, sitting alone, crying. Victoria slowed her car, her heart tugged with concern. Why would a child be alone at this hour? She wondered. The boy looked sick, helpless. Something about his tears didn't seem fake. Maybe he needs help, she thought. She hesitated, then asked herself out loud, should I go in? Should I check if he's okay? Victoria had always been a kind-hearted girl, someone who couldn't ignore another's pain. So she turned the car around, parked in front of the house, and nervously approached the door. Hello? She called out softly. Is someone there? Can I come in? A voice answered gently from inside. Come in. No one is ever stopped here. Come whenever you like. Victoria stepped inside. The boy was sitting on an old sofa in the dimly lit living room. He looked no older than 16, pale skin, dark eyes, and surprisingly handsome. His face was wet with tears. I saw you from the road, Victoria said. You looked like you needed help. Is everything okay? The boy gave a faint smile. I'm all right. I just cry sometimes. I'm lonely. No one visits me. No one wants to talk to me. Everyone runs away. Why? She asked, sitting gently beside him. I'm very sick. Everyone's afraid of catching what I have, he said quietly. Even my parents left me alone in this house. No one comes here anymore. Victoria felt a pang of sympathy, but something felt strange. He looked fine, not sick at all. In fact, he looked strong and healthy. I just had a blood transfusion yesterday, the boy added quickly, as if reading her mind. That's why I look okay today. I can't stay long, Victoria said politely, but I can talk to you for a little while. 15 minutes passed. The boy kept repeating himself. The same sad lines, the same longing. And suddenly, Victoria felt odd. Her body felt heavy, like she was being watched by more than one person. She could feel unseen eyes on her. The atmosphere was thick with something she couldn't explain. It's getting late, she said, standing up. I should go. The boy's expression changed. His eyes glistened. Don't go, he whispered. Please stay a little longer. Victoria refused. The boy asked for water. She used that moment to escape, quickly walking out of the house, heart pounding. She jumped into her car and drove home without looking back. That night she collapsed into bed, too tired to even eat. By morning, she had a high fever that lasted 3 days. When she returned to work, she shared the story with her coworkers. That house? One friend gasped. You went inside that house? Yes. Why? That place is haunted, her friend whispered. Anyone who stays there past 4 a.m. never comes back alive. Only their dead body is found the next day. Victoria laughed. Come on, he was just a sad, sick boy. Her coworkers insisted she never go back, but Victoria didn't believe them. A few days later, she said, let's go check it out together. I want to prove to you there's nothing wrong. But there was. The truth behind the boy, what Victoria didn't know, was the secret of that house. Years ago, that same boy had lived there. He'd suffered from a terrifying contagious illness, one that made people fear him. Even his own parents abandoned him, locking him away in that house. He died alone. His spirit never left. Now every night he opens the doors and leaves the lights on, hoping someone will come in, someone who won't run away, someone who will stay until 4 a.m. Because if you're still inside by 4, he never lets you leave. Victoria had narrowly escaped the first time, but what happens when she goes back? A few days later, Victoria said to her friends, let's all go to that house tonight. Let's see if the stories are real. Her friends tried to stop her, but she didn't listen. That night, they arrived again at the same house. The door, as always, was wide open. The lights were still on. Victoria went in alone. The boy was there, waiting. He smiled. "You came back." Victoria asked, "Tell me the truth. Who are you?" The boy stayed silent for a moment, then he spoke. "Do you really want to listen?" Victoria said yes. He said, "I'm not alive. When I was alive, I had a disease, a contagious one. Everyone started avoiding me. Even my parents left me. I was sick, alone, and I died in this house." Victoria's breath caught in her throat. "Since then, I stay here. I leave the door open, waiting for someone to come. If they leave before 4 a.m., they survive. But those who stay become part of this place, just like me." Victoria tried to run, but the doors slammed shut. Shadows began to crawl out of the walls. The clock's hands were racing toward 4 a.m. She screamed, "I'll set you free." She grabbed a wooden log from the cabinet, anything flammable. She opened the windows, set the curtains on fire. Flames erupted. The shadows shrieked. The boy screamed, "No, you promised you'd stay." Victoria stepped into the flames and shouted, "I came to break that promise." Scene 10. A new dawn. The next morning, all that remained of the house was a pile of ashes. Victoria was found unconscious outside, but alive. Later, it was discovered she had passed out at 3:57 a.m. If it had been 4, she wouldn't have survived. A few months later, a new house was built on the same spot. A family was about to move in. Their little daughter peeked through the doorway and said, "Mommy, there's a boy sitting inside crying. He says, 'I just need a friend.'" Some souls remain lonely even after death, and some doors always stay open, waiting for just one more friend. If you like the video, press the like button and subscribe the channel.
They had warned me not to stay in room number 313. I wish I had listened. It all began with a business trip. This story is a freelance journalist who usually writes about local politics and corruption in small towns. But this time, he wanted something different, something terrifying, mysterious, and potentially viral. When he heard about a hotel where every guest who stayed in room 313 vanished, he knew he had found his next big story. He told his entire true story. We are telling you in his own words. The hotel was a colonial-era building located on the outskirts of a desolate hill town called Devgar. Moss clung to its walls, and its grand arches were crumbling. Locals avoided the place as if it were cursed. He, however, was drawn to it like a moth to a flame. At the reception sat an old man with a glass eye and trembling hands. When he requested room 313, he flinched. "That room is not in use!" He whispered, as if someone might be listening. He placed a hefty sum on the counter. "Just one night. He won't cause any trouble." He said nothing, but eventually handed him an old keychain. The key was labeled 313, Do Not Disturb. The corridor leading to the room was deserted. The overhead lights flickered, and his footsteps echoed against the walls. There was a strange heaviness in the air. Room 313 was at the end of the hallway. Its door appeared darker than the others, as if stained by years of secrets. He turned the key and opened the door. The room was old but clean. A canopy bed with draped curtains, a dusty chair, and a desk that hadn't been used in years. But what caught his attention was the mirror above the fireplace. Tall, antique, and cracked down the middle. He set down my bag and took out my camera and recorder. He intended to document everything. Spend one night here, record any unusual occurrences, and write an article about it. Yet, he couldn't shake the feeling that someone was watching him. At midnight, he was jotting down notes when there was a knock at the door. Knock, knock, knock. 3 slow taps. He froze. He hadn't ordered anything, and no one knew he was here. He opened the door. No one was there. The hallway was empty. The lights flickered softly. He stepped out and looked both ways. Nothing. Just as he was about to close the door, he saw a shadow move at the far end of the corridor. No sound, just a silhouette gliding along the wall. He slammed the door shut. 1:13 a.m. He saw the mirror. It was no longer cracked. He was stunned. He distinctly remembered the long fissure. But now its surface was pristine. Then my reflection blinked. But he hadn't. He stepped back, heart pounding. The figure in the mirror stared back with a cold, eerie smile. He grabbed his camera and started filming. But through the viewfinder, everything appeared normal. Was I hallucinating? He opened the minibar. No alcohol. He hadn't consumed anything. He was completely sober. 2:13, the lights went out. The entire room plunged into darkness. He turned on my phone's flashlight, and as soon as the light illuminated the room, the mirror showed it again. The reflection. But it wasn't mimicking him. He moved right. It moved left. He raised his hand. It didn't. It smiled. He was not smiling. Its eyes were black voids. He hurled the camera at the mirror. The glass shattered into pieces. The light went out. Darkness. Completeness. Complete darkness. Then a whisper echoed. You shouldn't have come. 3:13 a.m. He don't remember falling asleep. He awoke with a jolt. Breathing was difficult. It felt like something heavy was pressing on my chest. He flailed and the weight vanished. He checked his phone. 3:13 a.m. The door creaked open on its own. This time, he didn't step out. He sat against the wall, eyes fixed on the door. As soon as dawn broke, he gathered his belongings and left. He checked out without a word. The old man at the reception said nothing, just nodded, as if he knew everything. But the story didn't end there. Back in Delhi, he began researching room 313. The hotel's website had no mention of it. Old records were missing. He contacted a local historian. His name was Dr. Suresh Rathore. When he recounted my night's experience, his face turned pale. You survived, he whispered. That room is cursed. It was once a British prison cell. A revolutionary named Arav Nath was tortured to death there. They say his spirit still lingers. He inquired about the mirror. It was the last gift from his wife. On the day of his death, the mirror cracked. Since then, strange occurrences have been reported. People see unfamiliar reflections, then disappear. The hotel was shut down in the 1970s, but a new management reopened it, trying to bury the past. He had the complete story, but he couldn't publish it. Every time he tried to write, the words vanished. Photos deleted themselves. Audio recordings played only whispers. If you like the video, kindly like the video and subscribe the channel.